Hello and welcome to HamNation, episode 590 for January 15th, 2025. And hello, everybody. I am Josh, KI6NAZ. Thanks for coming on back here to HamNation, live every 2 weeks on Wednesday. Set your calendars. Let's say hi to the host. We got a packed show, so we got to dive right into it. Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
Hi.
Good to see you all. Good to see you. Gordo, how you doing at the top of the pyramid there?
We're doing well, handling some radio comms outside of the fire lines, but influencing those that are wanting to know more information from output of residents. So, yep, we're on it.
Yeah, Amanda, do we want to talk about the fire right now, or do we wait till Gordo is on a little bit later? What's the best time
Let's
to do
do
that?
fires now.
Yeah, Gordo, tell us a little bit about what you've been up to. So you are a part of the Fire Watch system down here in Southern California, and what's been your activities so far been?
Well, what the Fire Watch is an organization of ham radio volunteers that go to specific spots on mountaintops and hillsides, and we look for power line sparks, we look for someone setting fires, we look for exhaust pipes too close to brush, and we do that anytime there's a red flag warning. And of course, there was emphasis on what we were doing because LA was literally burning. And we've heard some great stories about ham radio going to the shelters where these evacuees all poured into. And it was the hams that came up with the multi charging cords for cell phones because folks had to leave so quick and evacuate. They left their chargers and then their cell phones were not working because they had no batteries. Well, the hams were there, and that's just one of the many things that ham operators were able to do.
Excellent.
That's amazing. It brings me back to helping with fires as well. Everyone, if you can take a few lessons out of this, it doesn't necessarily have to be ham radio related for ARES or an Oxcom group to be of support. And don't forget to sell your served agencies on that. I cannot say how many times even firefighters or deputies that were out doing like the evacuations didn't have chargers either. So it's an extremely important asset to have some charging capabilities as well as extra just batteries and maybe some battery banks, 10,000 mAh or something ready to go. So I don't know about anybody else, but it kind of gives me some, I wouldn't say PTSD, but just the thoughts back to Wattle Canyon fire when 35,000 people had to evacuate at one time. And there's only a few roads in and out. I can't imagine what it was like when 100,000 people evacuated. So that's crazy. Now, Gordo, are there were any tower sites affected? Anything burned down like that?
There was so much that burned down, including a lot of power poles and so on. It's just we still don't know the exact numbers nor the exact cause of these huge fires in Los Angeles. But boy, down here in Orange County, we're about 50 miles south, maybe not even that much, 25 miles south. We could really see the smoke. And of course, we're all now putting up with sore throats with all the junk that was in the air.
Absolutely. So devastating. And it's just the unfortunate death toll now and just the amount of destruction. Dawn was in contact with Dr. T. As most of you know, she lives in the greater Los Angeles area and is very close. How's she doing, Dawn? You're muted, honey.
Oh.
Still muted.
Well, while Dawn sorts that out, I'll mention that the repeater that was most in danger was the Mount Wilson repeater groups that are up there. And the fire, I think, is still in and around that area. At least the embers of the fires are still there. I'm not sure if any of them ultimately were taken out or not. I don't know if that was the case. Gordo, did you hear anything on that?
Nope, I don't think we lost any repeaters because of the heroic firefighting efforts, although I'll be real surprised if one or two certainly didn't suffer because of power outage and then the generator simply ran out of fuel trying to keep them back on the air.
Likely
That
a
sounds
couple of
about right.
singed antennas, I assume.
I would assume that as well. But their comms are so important. They will stop saving a home to go save those towers. I do know that. It's absolutely a must to keep the communications on the air. All the DTR systems and everything, extremely important. If they can do it, they will put some more drops on that and move away from what they're doing to help solve that situation. So I think all of the Ham Nation gang here would like to say we're so sorry to the greater Los Angeles area, and we know that you're not out of the woods yet, and it's painful to watch this on TV, more or less having to be around it. So Godspeed, everybody.
Indeed. Well, I think Don is still kind of working with his audio. You know what, Don? You might be at the point where you got to restart everything and come on back. So we're just going to say hi for you. It's good to see you. We'll talk to you a little bit later down the show here. So, Amanda, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm gearing up for the Arctic blast. I think most of the country is going to see that next. We're going to get to about 2 below between Saturday and Monday or Tuesday. And I'm not looking forward to that, but with the snow will also come power outages. So gear up, everybody. Ice storms down south, brutal cold up north. So stay tuned. We have a big show ahead. We're going to be talking all things about where you can go to visit some major ham fests. We're going to be discussing the Quartzfest, and we're also going to be talking about HamCation. So, and I'll be tuning into viewers in the chat room. So let's send it over to Gordo and our wonderful guest, Chris, KR1SS.
All right. Well, thanks so much. And let me tell you, HamCation is right around the corner after Quartzfest. And I know many of you have heard about it and you want to be there, because I can tell you it's the real thing when it comes to HamFest. All right. Well, let's take a look at our annual. It's about 27th annual Quartzfest out in the middle of the desert with there's no improvements, no nothing but fun. And over to your right is Chris. And Chris, thank you so much for one more year heading up Quartzfest. And we've got the Quartzfest logo that you see there. Quartzfest is in Arizona, south of the town of Quartzsite. And south of the town of Quartzsite, there's no electricity to speak of to tap into. No underground utilities, no nothing but good old hard packed sand. And we know we're on the right course when we're headed toward Quartzfest, because you'll see a lot of vehicles with a ton of antennas heading on the Highway 10 headed for Quartzfest or coming down via the Colorado River. And you know you're getting close when you spot all of the trailers and so on. Chris, let me ask you, Quartzfest is in with a lot of other RV shows. How many thousands of RVs show up not only for Quartzfest, but all around Quartzsite? Chris?
Well, first, I want to correct. This year will be the 29th year of Quartzfest. It started in 1997 with just 25 hams and friends, and it's grown to, for Quartzfest, 600 to 700 RVs out here with that many hams plus. Quartzsite has a population of about 3,000 during the year. And during the month of January, especially during the RV show, the last full week in January, the population has gone up with all the RVs and campers to over 2 million.
Wow.
So it's a big deal out here with the RV show.
That's crazy.
It is.
It's
so
a big desert.
And they literally pour in from all over the United States, and it's a great camaraderie, and it's also a great recruitment for getting more hams tuned into what ham radio is all about. Well, when hams tune into 5 miles south of Quartzfest, they know they're getting close when they see two Quartzfest I'm not sure. I won't call them effigies. We ultimately burn a likelihood of them down on the last night, burning ham, man, and woman. But they're there to greet us. And Quartzfest is fun. It's not just seminars. We're going to have on our day one Olympics of throwing discs, as in discus. Well, they're floppy disks from computers. We may have a rig toss or two. Next day, we're going to do voltage with D cells and pounding ground stakes and CW with your left foot and ID that part when you reach into who knows what to pull something out. Marilyn will have kite flying going on. And yeah, we're going to probably have some pretty good winds, but that's what Quartzfest is about. So Chris, what do they first do when they hit the site at Quartzfest to get registered?
Well, the first thing they need to do is stop at the camp host and sign in with the BLM, that's Bureau of Land Management host. If they have the flag up, they're open. And then come up to the about a half a mile north on the dirt road till you see the sign that says "Welcome to Quartzfest," and it has our frequency 146.550 on it. And then veer off to the right, come up to the welcome tent, sign in with us. We had to make a change this year. We've always run Quartzfest on donations to cover our annual costs, but being as we're permitted now. Yes, last year the BLM Rangers showed up and said we need to have a permit, so I applied real quick. We have a permit this year too, and with that permit, we cannot take donations to support Quartzfest. So in order to pay for our insurance and storage and porta potties and all those things, we have to charge everybody $5 entrance fee for the week. And that breaks down to about 75 cents a day. So that's the cheapest HamFest around.
Yeah. So bring that $5 bill. We don't get to keep it. It goes to Bureau of Land Management. And they really do a good job of supervising all that desert area. So Sunday, the 19th is the official kickoff. And when we get things kicked off at Quartzfest, there's Chris again. And she is the one that is going to be leading it. And there is Dick Norton with the American Radio Relay League, of which I work with Dick and ARRL as an instructor trainer. And this is our opening party. Chris, usually it's packed, huh?
Yeah, 400 to 500 people there usually. We took this picture with a drone a couple years ago, and it shows just a mass that comes out to our opening ceremony.
And we have a PA system, so you don't have to worry about being able to hear. And, oh, yes, we have parking spots. No, they're not designated. You just park anywhere you want. And as you can see with this photo, there's some big-sized rigs that are marvelous. There are little small rigs that are nice and warm and comfy, probably warmer in there than on the big rigs when the temperature dips down to the high 30s, early 40s. You tent campers, you are welcome. And you can clear away the quartz crystal rocks and have a nice smooth spot. And yes, we even have the porta potties. That's what some of the bucks go to. And that way no one is left out. Right, Chris?
That's right. Especially for the tent campers and the day visitors, we ask that people that have their RVs use their own facilities so these don't get filled up.
That's right. So we take care of those things that you just wouldn't think of. And by the way, for those that are wheel propelled, whether you need to or not, as you see there, the sand is hard packed, so it's not like you're going to get bogged down and you're not going to be able to be accommodated if you're a wheelchair or whatever. Now, speaking of accommodations, if you've got a four-wheel drive or even a aggressive two-wheel drive that's high off the ground, you are ready to roll on the trail ride. Now, when is that ride, Chris?
That's Wednesday. It leaves out of here they meet about between 8 and 8:30 on the road out in front of the welcome tent, and they hit the road Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock. And Frank has been out.
It's fun. We're going to have Frank, who's going to be leading the charge, and you can go in any type of vehicle that will make it, and it's not really tough, but I sure like some of those sand buggies that you see there. And there's Gary. He's the amateur television man, and what he does is he sets up 2.4 and 5.6 and mesh ATV gear. And that way, if the weather gets a little windy, which it's supposed to be just a little windy on Tuesday, there's no slowing down. We keep things going, and everybody and their coach can tune in on cable television channel 57 or so with an outside antenna and be able to take in all of the seminars. And Chris, we got some humdingers, don't we, for seminars?
Yes, we have 3 seminars 4 times a day. So that's 12 seminars a day for 5 days. And there's only 2 or 3 slots open right now. So it's full slug of seminars for the week.
And if you're into seminars, from everything from mesh to quilting to you name it, it's not just all radio. Here we're showing the grab-and-go bags for Amateur Radio Emergency Service members from the American Radio Relay League, and everybody sort of has their own grab-and-go bag. And by the way, Whiskey 7 Quebec is going to be our call sign, and our special operation will be with an Icom transceiver. And Icom, Ray at Icom has really done well to get us all sorts of gear. And Kevin with BioWinnow, with a BioWinnow power, it'll keep our gear rolling and rolling. And we'll be on the air, right, Chris?
Oh, yes. From starting Monday, we'll be on the air about 9 o'clock through about 3 o'clock, and that'll go through Thursday. We couldn't reserve the W7Q call sign for Friday because somebody ahead of us got it for Winter Field Day. So,
okay.
So we'll be operating a special event station from Monday through Thursday.
All right. Well, just listen for us at Quartzfest, and you'll definitely find us. Now, when night comes, that's even more exciting for Quartzfest. We have stargazing if the wind is subsided, which it probably will most evenings. We're going to have contact with the International Space Station through their crossband repeater. And at night, people bring their own little warmers. Here's something that you farmers are well aware of to keep your crops warm as well as your rear warm. What do they call those? Bunsen burners? No.
Smudge
what
pots.
Are they?
Smudge pots.
What are they?
Smudge pots.
Oh, yeah, smudge pots. Well, anyway, they kick out the heat, and you'll see some of those there. And if you're into wanting to get the latest movie, it'll be on the side probably of someone's giant motorhome. And speaking of giant motorhomes, Steve, WM7X, is offering amateur radio examinations every day with his team via the internet, and he is live right there, and that's from about lunchtime to about 1:30 or so. So if you're thinking of taking an exam, get a hold of WM7 X-Ray, and they'll get you into one of those big motorhomes. You'll be able to take your test. Now, in the past, we used to have a lot of tents, but tents in the desert with a wind at 25 miles per hour on a day or so. So we now do all of our presentations that require the PowerPoint and so on with demos in the evening hours. We've got a big professional screen and very bright light. And Chris, look at all the four-leggeds. Are they permitted?
Oh, yes, they're permitted. And we have on Tuesday evening at 5 o'clock, we have our, I'm thinking 12th annual pet parade, where the owners dress up their critters in the best attire and bring them on out. And I have a sound meter on my phone that I use for the applause, and they're judged that way. It's not just dogs. We've had cats, and we've had a parrot or two. So, our pet parade is always fun. You never
know what you're going to see at the pet parade, but they're always out there making things happen. Ladies, we've not got plenty of programs for you, and you're on the top of the schedule. And a lot of ladies get together. YLRL is going to be there with a meeting, so plenty of activities. Plus, we go into town on Tuesday, and on Tuesday we drive into town and see the Rocks and Minerals show as well as we do the big RV tent, and that's really yummy to look at all the RV goodies. And of course, you got to have, that's Rick, and you got to have a little potluck and a little cast iron cooking. So we do that on one of the days. And did you know what day we're doing cast iron cooking?
Yeah, Tuesday will start about noon. Rick will set up the coals and get everything ready, and we have whatever they cook in the cast iron cooking group, they serve during the potluck that evening. So it's always awesome.
Yeah, it will be awesome. Now, thanks to Tracy, who keeps track of all the programs, and sometimes they move around a little bit just depending on the weather. A big bulletin board is well implanted there, and there's Tracy on the left and Jody on the right. Tesla, their little dog, is keeping track of them. They keep track of all the different seminars. And you want to see live stuff? There's no talking on this deal. This is the real live stuff showing automatic antenna tuners, measuring the amount of current coming out of them when we do the demos. And, oh yeah, bring your musical instruments, right, Chris?
Yes, Thursday evening is our hootenanny right after the pot, or no, we don't have potluck that night. Right after our raffles and giveaways.
Yeah, so a nice little hootenanny. There's the giveaway, and that happens every afternoon at 3 o'clock or 3:30?
3:30.
Yeah, 3:30. And then we go to the hootenanny, and the hootenanny, Russ gets that organized. That's guitars and banjos, and you can bang plates or whatever you want to, but that's always a good thing. And hope we win some nice prizes at the get-together. And yeah, look, we even tried panning for gold last year, but everybody said, you know, I got metal detectors. They're almost like ham radio working DX, back and forth, spinning the dial. So we are bearing rare coins, including some gold-clad coins in a area on, I believe it's Thursday, or is it Friday?
I don't remember.
It's Thursday or Friday. Anyway.
I think Thursday.
And metal detectors, we'll have a little class on using your metal detector, and then we go out to the field, and what you find is going to be yours. And while you might not find a gold nugget with these big metal detectors, you will find some valuable coins, and that just adds to the excitement. Of course, antenna. We look at a lot of antennas and solar panels.
Yes, the antenna walkabout has been going on at Quartzfest since the beginning, where we get a group of hams together that want to see unique antenna installations on RVs, and off we go into the desert. Same thing with our solar walkabout. Unique solar installations. We head on out in the desert, and we don't use a PA, and we don't stand as in a corner and try to talk to people. We program our handhelds to 146000, and everybody has a handheld to listen to what's being said about the antennas.
So we don't leave anybody out. If you don't want to get out of your motorhome, if the wind's blowing, you can still tune in to the action. And again, a lot of live demonstrations, a lot of show and tell, and this is the real thing. Oh, and we're also going to do a fox hunt, right? A mini fox hunt?
Yes, they're calling it a bunny hunt this year, but they've got two foxes. One is going to be easy to find, and the other one's going to be a little more difficult.
Okay, so we'll have help there. And you know, one of the best parts, Chris, that you emphasize, and it's so good, is just the camaraderie between hams. And that is using different tools for swedging Anderson connectors or solving a radio problem. Everybody takes part, and that's the nice thing about Quartzfest. It's not like everybody's in their own little motorhome out of the way. We are all together. And then, of course, the final Saturday night, we burn not the original, but a makeshift ham man goes up in flames, and that's sort of our finale for the Saturday. And you know who that is. We're always taking pictures, and he's going to get that all squared away on film. Well, no, not on film, on digital as well. So there's always something going on when it comes to Quartzfest. And Chris, over to you for a final, and then we'll hear you for talk-in a lot of the time.
Yes. And Gordo's right. Anytime anybody asks for help with something, all I have to do is put a call out on a radio. We use 146550 simplex, and everybody's monitoring. The people come out of the woodwork to help out. It's just a awesome gathering.
So everybody's invited, and it's starting this Sunday and goes for a week on the desert floor. So Amanda, I'll turn it over to you, and you can go direct with Chris on how she got this thing going full speed ahead many years ago.
Oh, appreciate it, Gordo. Thanks so much for all your photos. All right. Well, so Chris, I don't know that you've actually joined us on the show before, so I just wanted to let the audience get to know you a little bit. Tell us how you got into amateur radio and how you took on this gigantic operation.
Well, I got into amateur radio kind of by accident. Well, on purpose, but on accident. My grandfather and I started to study when I was 6 years old, and that went by the wayside. And I forgot about it for years. I got into 11 meters when I was in North Carolina in the Army at Fort Bragg. And my job in the Army, I was a paratrooper, but I was also a radio operator, RTTY, CW, and phone. And that kind of got my feet wet. While I was there at Fort Bragg, I ended up working in a Army Mars station, where we would talk to hams every day with Mars with phone patches. And I went to Germany after I left Bragg and volunteered work in the Mars station there. And I got out after 8.5 years, went back to San Diego, and I met a friend, and he's Silent Key now, KI6TG Chuck. And we were on 11 meters, and we got talking one day, someday I'll get my ham license. So every morning on the way to work, we'd get together. I taught him CW and procedures, and he taught me electronics. And we took our tests together. And the CW was horrible, our novice test back in 85. It wasn't Farnsworth by any chance. The A was dit, da, da, dit. And we had to try to copy that. We were doing 13 words a minute that morning, and we had to try to copy that. And we were just lost. We asked the guy if it was just one extra at the time, and we asked if he could speed it up or something like that. And he said no. So we were copying the code for a novice ticket, and he said at the exact same spot, we were on opposite sides of the room, but he said in the exact same spot, we started copying solid for 2 minutes. So that was awesome. We got our novice tickets. That was in December 85. In February of 86, I took my technician test along with the 13 words a minute for general, and I got my general ticket. And then a year later, in February of 87, I got my advanced ticket, which I still hold. I got that in Wakefield, Kansas. I went back in the Army after 3.5 years being out. I missed it. What can I say? But I went back in as an E2, and that kind of sucked. But
well, just to pay alone.
didn't take me long to make my E5 back, so that was good. But I worked in when I went back to Fort Riley in Kansas, I was assigned to the Mars station there. And so I worked the Mars station during the week. We were closed on weekends. So I would go in and open up shop on the weekend. We had a 1.5 Henry. We had Drake the TR7s. And Chuck, my friend in San Diego that I studied with, he and I would get together on 20 or 15 meters and talk from the station.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Now, is your wife a ham too?
Yes, she is. She's a general.
Okay.
KJ7 DSE. And she couldn't come out here with me this year. She's a pharmacy tech and started a job back in September and can't get vacation yet.
Oh, that's too bad.
So she's staying in a Holiday Inn back in Tucson, and I'm out here having fun.
So how did you get roped into taking over at Quartzfest?
Well, I was vice president of a club in El Cajon, California, down by San Diego for 2008, 2009, and then 2011 I was president. But I came out here in 2010 to Quartzfest for the first time, and the organizers that we had at the time, Cliff, KB4ZBP, ZBP for zero brain power. He always said that. And then his wife, Virginia, KE4VRW. Cliff is a silent key now. Virginia just moved to North Carolina. We still stay in touch. But they mentioned they'd been organizers for 3 years and were getting older and ready to give it up, and asked for someone to volunteer to take it. So being no longer an officer of the club in San Diego, I took it. And that was in 2011 was my first year as organizer. I held the reins until 2004 through 2014. And during 2014, a friend of mine's, a tragedy happened. And I got real bad PTSD from watching a gunshot.
Oh, no.
And I gave it up. I gave Quartzfest up. And Dave K1AN and Heather WGEM took it over for 2015 and 16. They gave it up.
And by the way, Chris, they're the new ham ambassadors that we're going to learn about from Michael and Mike tonight in Orlando.
Oh, awesome. But they gave it up in 2016 at the end of the show, so I took it back. And this is I was thinking it was my 14th year, but this is my 13th year as organizer in Quartzfest 29-year history.
Wow. Well, I think what I have read is that you're fantastic, and nobody's ever going to let you go away from it. So you're kind of like, after you volunteered as tribute that one time, like the Hunger Games, you're in it forever. So, and the audience is saying that as well. She is the best. And someone was boasting they helped you with your laptop last year. And anyhow, well, thank you, Chris, for being here. Don't be a stranger. Come back on when telling us about anything else you have going on interesting in ham radio. We'd love to have you back on. And have a fun time this next week. Keep everybody in line and do a good job. Anything else you want everyone to know about Quartzfest?
Just one thing. When I took over Quartzfest, the biggest attendance we had was 128. 2019, we had 1,050.
Wow.
And this particular Quartzfest, Chris, we're going to turn you on to becoming an ARRL instructor, in that I have on Friday an instructor seminar for those hams that would like to be league members with capabilities of teaching classes with all that the ARRL offers, including, Chris, your own certificate. So I'll see you there for class.
One more thing.
Yes.
Friday morning on the 18th, we'll have ARRL forums, one by Rick Paquette, W7RAP,
right,
our Arizona section manager. And then following that would be Dick Norton, N6AA, who will be here just fresh back from Newington for their board meeting to tell us all that's going on there. So
that should hopefully be some good news.
Yes.
All right. Well,
thanks
thank you
a lot for having me.
Of course. Our pleasure. We're glad that you finally had a connection to be able to join us.
Yes.
So we'll say 73 to you, and you can stick around if you want for the rest of the show. It's up to you. And we're going to... Josh, would you like to break for an ad? Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I need to give thanks. Scott N3FJP has donated, as always supports us, donating gift certificates for software. Steve with Alpha Antenna donated $5 $50 gift certificates to us to give out. Randy KB3 IFH QSL cards always gives us door prize.
The bells.
And Icom. I can't say enough about Array and Icom. They've donated a radio to us since, I believe, 2018 or 19. When the 9700 came out, they introduced it right here at Quartzfest.
Wow. To
the world. But they've donated a 705 to us this year to give out.
Nice.
We're on federal land, so we can't charge for any raffle tickets. So our daily giveaways, we just hand raffle tickets out at the fire ring when we get out there for our announcements. And when hams sign in with us, they don't even have to give us the $5 if they don't want to. But when they sign in with us, they get a raffle ticket for the grand prize drawing, and that's for the 705, absolutely free for tickets.
Wow.
Oh, some goodies out there to be had. All right.
Very cool.
So big thanks
you. Thank you to the sponsors out there. All right. Josh, do you want to go to the Icom ad, or would you like to go to HamCation?
Let's just run the ad. Yeah.
Happy New Year from Icom.
This holiday season, let your passion for communication shine bright with Icom's industry-leading ham radios. Celebrate the spirit of the season with reliable performance, cutting-edge technology, and the unmatched clarity that makes Icom a gift worth giving. On the road, Icom's handheld radios offer reliable performance, long battery life, and clear signal quality. Built tough for outdoor use and emergencies, Icom keeps casual and serious operators connected wherever you go. The ID50A provides hours of VHF-UHF fun and enjoyment. Beginners will love the easy D-Star settings, band scope with waterfall display, voice messaging, and share picture function. The ID52A is the first dual-band handheld with a full-color 2.3-inch waterfall display, conventional FM and D-Star simplex, repeater, regional, and worldwide calls over the D-Star Internet Gateway. The IC705 and IC7300 are the go-to rigs for outdoor hams who love POTA and SOTA activations. Both radios feature a large color touchscreen with real-time spectrum scope and waterfall display for intuitive function and setting operation. The IC705 provides big radio features and performance in the palm of your hand. Enjoy HF to 50, 144, and 440 MHz with D-Star, SSB, CW, RTTY, AM, and FM modes. The IC7300 is an industry first to use RF direct sampling in an entry-level HF radio. This high-performance radio has class-leading RMDR and phase noise characteristics and a built-in automatic antenna tuner. The IC7300 will far exceed your expectations. The real HF fun starts here. Or upgrade your station to one of Icom's premium HF radios. With the IC7610, faint signals are no longer challenging for DXers and contesters. Pick out the faintest signals even in the presence of stronger adjacent signals. This is the SDR every ham wants. The new IC7760 offers a modern connection system with a separate remote control head and RF deck linked via a standard LAN cable for more flexible installation. Place the RF deck closer to the antenna feed point, freeing up space on your desk. You can even connect the control head to the RF deck through your home network, enabling remote operations from anywhere you're home without a PC. The ICPW2 is the perfect power addition to your base station. Take your contesting experience to the next level. The ICPW2 is a perfect, powerful addition to your base station. Take your contesting experience to the next level with Icom's industry-first linear amplifier with included digital pre-distortion and a built-in 2x6 automatic antenna selector for single operator to radio operation. For more information about Icom's great amateur radios, visit icomamerica.com/amateur today.
And a huge thank you to Icom for sponsoring Ham Nation here on the Ham Radio Crash Course. I should have it on that one. That is the one. If you take the link in the video description, you can enter the Every Time We Are Live giveaway. We give away 3 swag packs, which include things like hats, a bag, tablet, pencils, that kind of thing that have Icom written on them. And then the winners of those swag pack giveaways get entered.
Josh.
Yeah. What?
You got an echo.
Oh, it's not on their side. Sorry. Okay. And the winners of the swag pack giveaway will be entered into the end of the month drawing where we give away a radio. So the winners for this show are Robert D, K3VIL, Jonathan F, KQ4SBN, and Brian Z, KA6ZED. But the winner of our monthly giveaway for the ICV 3500 is Dustin B, K2 Bro. BRO, which is pretty cool. So if you go to the website, pull it on up, you can see the giveaway for January is the V3500. So if you want to know what they're giving away in the next month, you can check it out. Link is in the video description. Make sure you enter. I'm going to go back to Amanda because we want to hear all about what is going on with Orlando HamCation. So let's go.
Okay, so we go from one end of the country, jump over the Gulf of Mexico for now, and let's go over to Florida. And actually, we have 2 mics with us, W4ORL and KJ4UDO. Mike and Mike, and I think the other mic is in San Diego, actually. So, how Orlando, Mike? How are you doing tonight?
played good tonight. Thank you, Josh and Amanda and Gordo for having us on tonight. Doing really good down here in Orlando, enjoying the wonderful weather we're having.
We got a
Fantastic.
bit of noise from Mike, KJ. Mike Banning, you got a little bit of background noise. If you can adjust that a little bit, please. Oh.
Let's try it out there. Okay. Mike, so tell us what's going on for HamCation this year.
This year, a lot of stuff's happening. We have first, the dates are February 7th, 8th, and 9th. Tickets are still on sale. Everything is currently will call, so if you buy a ticket, it will be held at will call for the event. And as you see on the website here, our ARL events app, we will have it again this year. It will actually go live tomorrow. So everybody can start downloading the app again, setting up your usernames and passwords, and all the information that's on the website will be generated to the app also. Then again this year, we're going to be having the AM 610 HamCation information radio set up. So if you're traveling in about 5 miles out from the show, you can catch the latest information about HamCation, any traffic advisories, anything like that will also be on there.
And Jonathan, the neat thing about the ARRL app, there are so many rooms at HamCation that you're just going to be looking and marveling at all of the exhibitors that are there.
And sorry, we're having a bit of an echo problem, so we're typing.
Yeah, Michael, like Collie, I think it's now you.
Yeah, I didn't change nothing.
Do you have headphones, maybe?
Yeah, I can grab them. I mean, I don't have them standing here.
There you go, John. You're coming through fine.
Oh.
So, Jonathan, I just want to add that.
Let's do this. Why don't we have Mike go try to grab his headphones, and we can go to Newsline.
Sounds good. Dawn, you ready? Let's test your mic now.
Yeah, is my yakking again?
It
You're
is.
a yacker.
Good. All right. Excellent. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into Amateur Radio Newsline. Real quick, though, we don't have Dr. T this week because, well, she's been a little bit busy with, some fires and stuff, but she's okay. Also, I talked to, she was like very, very, very close to the evacuation area, but she's fine. Her family's fine. And I spoke with Sarah Heil, Bob Heil's wife, who, of course, Bob was really, really good friends. Both of them were really, really good friends with Joe Walsh, WB6ACU. Joe's place is miles and miles and miles away from the affected area, so Joe Walsh is doing just fine. So that's a little update on that. Now let's go ahead and get an update on the news of the week from Amateur Radio Newsline. From Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2463, this is Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, January 15th, 2025. A ham radio operator in Idaho is facing an unprecedented fine from the FCC in a case of interference with emergency responders.
Rejecting the appeal of a ham radio operator who interfered with emergency responders' communications during a forest fire, the FCC is seeking a fine that is unprecedented in such cases. Explaining its $34,000 penalty against the Idaho radio operator, FCC Chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel wrote, quote, "You can't interfere with public safety communications," end quote. The FCC action came after finding Jason Frowley, WA7CQ, was not authorized to transmit on the frequency being used by Forest Service firefighters battling the blaze in July of 2021. Although the FCC issued the notice of liability in 2022, they did not adopt the penalty until late December. The agency did not explain the delay. Frowley has acknowledged that he was on the government frequency, 151.145 megahertz, but told the FCC he had no malicious intent and was simply trying to assist the firefighters' aircraft being used to suppress the flames. He told the FCC he cannot afford to pay the penalty and submitted financial documents to support his request. He has asked that the penalty be reduced or eliminated. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
As packet radio gains wider usage among hams involved in emergency communications, one East Coast network is looking to add more nodes to deepen its reach.
Using mostly NVIS range links, the Packet Radio RF Forwarding Network, or TPR-FN, connects standalone nodes and VHF-UHF packet networks to HF bands. The result is efficient, low-bandwidth communication valued for its simple infrastructure and reliability, as well as its interoperability with email, internet gateways, and SMS. Radios, modems, and simple hardware form its backbone. In the U.S., the network reaches as far south as Florida and as far north as Maine. Operators are now hoping to create an NVIS link between Maine and New York and another one between Florida and Virginia. Just as important is its goal of adding more nodes, especially those connecting the East Coast to any states farther west. At present, there is only one node west of the region, and that is in Wisconsin. The network also needs more nodes in the northeastern U.S. Additional details can be found on their website at tprfn.net. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
Amateurs in Germany receive the welcome news that their access to the 6 and 4 meter bands is being extended.
The German Regulatory Office for Telecommunications has granted temporary access for 6 meters for Class E license holders at 100 watts between 50 and 50.4 MHz and using reduced power of 25 watts between 50.4 and 52 MHz on a non-interference basis. The trial period lasts until December of 2025 for Class E amateurs, the equivalent of the US General Class Operator. According to the regulator's announcement made in December, full license holders are receiving extended access to 6 meters at the same power levels and 70.150 to 70.210 MHz in the 4 meter band at 25 watts power on a trial basis until December 2026. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news since 1976 at arnewsline.org. With Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, Andy Morrison, K9AWM, Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe, I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW. 7-3, we'll see you next time here on Ham Nation. All right, very good. Thanks to the Newsline crew for getting that together for us. And again, we don't have a solar update from Dr. T tonight, but I can tell you just from my, knowing her for a number of years. In fact, a memory came up on Facebook. It was 9 years ago, I believe on Saturday, that she and I had lunch in New Orleans when she was in town for American Meteorological Association convention and an event. So that was kind of cool. Wow, 9 years. She's been doing this for over 9, up close to 10 or 11 now. But anyway, as an amateur solar observer, and just from the information I've gleaned from Tamitha Skov, Dr. Tamitha Skov, PhD, over this decade that I've known her, it was bright outside today, so I know the sun was up there.
Oh my.
It was
That's
cloudy.
Where you were going with that.
And a little bit rainy today, but I could see without a flashlight. So I know it was up there. And there's your solar update until we get to hear from Dr. T. So let's get back over to Orlando, where it's sunny all the time, I hear.
Baby, keep your day job, okay? Okay, let's try this with Mike and Mike again. Josh might edit the first part. We have joining us Mike Cawley, W4ORL, and Mike Bannigan, KJ4UDO. Mr. Cawley, I'll go to you first. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are y'all? And thank y'all for having myself and Mike on the show tonight.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so you're trying to tell us you told us about the app, and we paid attention to that. So tell us what's going on, what's new for this year.
New for this year. Actually, we have lots of sponsors this year. Most sponsors we've ever had. Gigaparts, Icom America, some new vendors and sponsors this year is VE2DX Electronics. One sponsor that's actually new this year that isn't even attending HamCation, but contacted us was Rivetus. They're actually donating 50 of their brand new amateur radio handhelds to us. And of course, DX Engineering come back as a bronze sponsor this year also.
Wow, fantastic. Now we've got other Mike in San Diego. How are you doing tonight, Mike?
Doing real well. Glad to have you have us on the show this evening, Amanda.
Fantastic. So what do you want to tell us about HamCation?
Well, I'm here. I'm the awards chairman for HamCation, and we're going to turn around and make our announcements of the awardees, the recipients for our 2 HamCation awards that we hand out each year. So I'm thrilled that you're allowing us to turn around and do this on Ham Nation.
Of course.
Last year, I'm glad to be back again this year to do it. So we've got 2 awards. We've got the Carol Perry Educator of the Year Award. That was first established back in 2019 in honor of Carol Perry, WB2MGP, for her work as an educator teaching students about ham radio. If anybody's been involved in youth forums along the way, they probably know Carol some form or fashion. And she's one of the people that turned around and actually brought amateur radio into her classroom. And and she's, even though she's no longer teaching, she is still very involved with youth and youth forums and promoting amateur radio. So the awards recognize somebody that's committed, big, strong personal commitment to educating youth on radio communications and amateur radio. So in this year, we ended up, we've got an individual who's got a passion for satellites, satellite communication, I should say. He's done multiple teach-ins at elementary schools and middle schools within his area, turn around and, educating or opening up the window for students on how communications are done with satellites. And it ends up this individual is a mentor for amateur radio on the International Space Station for Eris.
Wow.
So I'd like to turn around and congratulate Dave Jordan, AA4KN, in receiving the Carol Perry Educator of the Year Award. David is as a mentor for the amateur for the Eris program, he's almost the person that kind of starts off in the background and makes the opportunities for schools to turn around and establish contacts with the astronauts in the International Space Station. So he starts from on the front end, working with them to turn around and get selected, working with the faculty and the staff of the school to help get through the selection process. And then once they're selected, he's turning around and also continuing to coordinate activities to turn around and get the resources to the school so they can turn around and establish those contacts. So with David's assistance over years, there's been many students that have actually had the opportunity to actually speak directly with astronauts on the ISS. So we want to congratulate David for being recognized for all his effort and work on getting radio communications opened up to students and getting it established with astronauts there. So
that's fascinating.
Kudos to David. So
congrats to David. Wow, it sounds like a great guy and well deserved for sure. I wish we had some kind of graphic we could put like an explosion of congrats. Anyhow, okay, continue on with the next award.
Well, the next one is in honor of one of the members of Ham Nation here for Gordon West, or Gordo, as Ambassador of the Year. We started this award back in 2023. I wanted to recognize Gordon for all the efforts he's been doing in promoting radio, in more facets than we can imagine. So we see him in the amateur radio. He's educating people. He's written the books, getting those out. He's doing maritime support. So there's every time you turn around, Gordon's getting radio communications in some form or fashion out to another group. So we kind of want to recognize folks for doing similar work to what Gordon's been doing, promoting radio, amateur radio, and trying to get people involved and expanding the knowledge of people that are involved in radio even further. So this year we're recognizing another couple that's been involved in it. They're very involved in youth radio again, and similar to with the education with Carol Perry's in here, but this one's they've been working with youth. They've been developing programs and materials for educating youth, but also it can be used for anyone along the way. So we'd like to recognize David Anderson, K1AN, and Heather Anderson, W8GEM, for their efforts. And as I mentioned, they've been very active in the Youth Radio Club of the Yavapai Amateur Radio Club in the Arizona area. So they've been, sounds like they've got a very consistent program of getting youth members involved. They've got a youth field day that they have going on. They've got through their monthly meetings. They've got fox hunting that takes place, monthly programs. So it's amateur radio related, electronics related, and then outside in some other areas, they're involved in STEAM activities. STEAM, a lot of us turn around and go, oh wait, we know about STEM, what's STEAM? Take STEM and add the arts into it. So they've also been doing some summer library programs for youth. And then they're also working with the World Genius Foundation. So that is actually turning around and opening up amateur radio for informing youth of radio activities that are outside of the typical groups we tend to focus on. So what's kind of neat there is that here's some folks that aren't even probably familiar with radio communications or amateur radio at all, and they're getting introduced to it, and just opening up the world to them for that. So congratulations to David and Heather on receiving the Gordon West Ambassador of the Year Award for HamCation 2025. So I'd like to just turn it back to you there, Amanda.
Of course. Well, congrats to David and Heather as well on the Gordon West Ambassador Award. Did I say that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go to Orlando, Mike. Any other words you wanted to add to those?
Yeah. First is also congratulate the award winners. It was a daunting process for the awards committee to pick the winners. Lots of good people were nominated. To narrow it down to just one for each award every year is very hard to do, but with the help of everybody on the committee, it was able to be done. And again, congrats to these two winners, or actually three winners. But yeah, for HamCation, we're talking about new stuff. One of the things that's not really new this year, but new for us, we have 16 new commercial vendors coming to HamCation this year, which is a lot. Some of them are Unithread, Amerilog, Halbert Electronics, Rocket Machine Works. Export Amps USA is actually a different company now. Signal Stuff is coming. Little antennas, great for your handhelds. One of the sponsors, VE2DX Engineering. Another new one, actually, Carlson Roof Towers. One that a lot of people are probably familiar with from HamVention is Western Case Company. All kind of bags and different cases and stuff. They're at HamVention. One of the new ones that actually just come on board about a week ago was Spec 5. M&L Radio Technology, W5YI licensing service. New one is Off Grid, WX, FreeDV, RadioID.net, and KB3 QSL cards. All these are new vendors this year for HamCation. Most new vendors we've had in a single year, which is good. Other things to look forward to is all the great forums we have here. We have this year so far scheduled 38 different forums over 2 days. Of course, some of your big ones, Carol Perry's forum. She will be talking teens seeking out fun in amateur radio. Then we have actually on Sunday this year, we're doing a Skywarn spotters training on Sunday. And so if you haven't got your Skywarn spotters training yet, good time to do it. Let's see, what else is some good ones we're having? Of course, everybody knows Joe Eisenberg, K0NEB. He will be doing a kit building techniques for success. Rob Sherwood, NC0B, receiver and transmitter performance. Whole bunch of ARL forms, membership forms for them. Even an MCOM form being done by Josh Johnson from ARL. So lots of forms this year.
Oh, yeah, I saw also they're doing an OSCOM course as well.
We are. That was the next thing I was going to lead into is actually our affiliated events that actually is going on the week of HamCation. One of them is an OSCOM class going on February 6th through 8th. I do know there's still room in there if you want to sign up if you go to affiliated events on the website. So that is still available. Of course, Wednesday night, February 5th, we will be doing a kit build with Joe. This year, he will be doing actually a little dipole antenna. It's all 3D printed. Most of it's 3D printed. And it's great for POTA and SOTA operating. So that's happening this year.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Joe always does some really great demos. So
he does. The other one that's happens during HamCation is the Florida Contest Dinner. The link's on there if you want to go to that, sign up for that. There is also one that's been growing over the years now is the 3rd annual HamCation POTA meetup. Yeah, so the info's on there, how to join that. So whole bunch of stuff going on during HamCation this year. And we do have testing on site for both days, partnered with, of course, Ham Study and Exam Tools. So that is happening on Friday and Saturday. You can sign up for that. Other things that people always ask for when they come to HamCation is HamCation apparel. We do have HamCation apparel available if you go on the website. It is on the front page. Just scroll or under attending HamCation. You can buy hats, you can buy sweatshirts, coffee mugs, all kind of HamCation apparels on there.
Well, I'll tell you, if you buy one of those green sweatshirts, you will be found.
You will. You will stand out in a crowd very easily.
Yes.
So the other thing people always ask for, we do have scooter rentals. If you're not able to get around, need some help getting around HamCation, HamCation is set on 86 acres. So it's a huge event. So from one end of the fairgrounds to the other end of the fairgrounds, it takes a while to cover everything. So we do have scooter rentals available also. And of course, the nice thing here, just like with Quartzfest, we're able to take on over 200 RVs, full hookups, right on site, power, electric, everything. So please, if you have an RV, there's still spaces available. And then we have an indoor swaps area. It has over 300 swap tables indoors for all the great stuff that they sell in there. We do have a great outdoor area For tailgating, we have usually over 300 tailgate spots there all over HamCation. So please come out, see us.
That sounds awesome. Now, Josh, you're going, right?
I am indeed, yes.
So is it kind of that's also a YouTuber's like meetup?
All the Hamfests are, but yeah, Jason Ham Radio 2.0 has a trailer spot, an RV spot that will be hanging out there, as well as in the vendor area, and of course, very excited as always to peruse the swap meets. Everybody, I was shown the map earlier, and I probably should do that again. Let me put that back up. This is a big one. It really is, and there's a lot of space, a lot of different things to do, a lot of different things to see, and it's always a fantastic time. So highly recommend it. Best time of the year to go, not to mention, right?
Now, one of the mics, how many people show up? How many attendees?
Last year we had 25,300 over the 3 days. So we are actually the second largest Hamfest in the world, right behind Dayton Hamvention.
You're catching up to Dayton, no less. I mean, they're in what, the high 30s? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're in the 30s, so we're right there with them. And we're both pretty much set in the same area, fairgrounds. One thing, we do work very closely with them and even Huntsville. We're all in it for the same thing, to make amateur radio grow for the ham radio community.
Fantastic. And then it takes a bunch of volunteers to do that kind of stuff.
It does. Our actual committee has 41 chairmen on it, which oversees everything. And then for volunteers, between the time we start in pretty much August until all the way through the event, we have over 400 volunteers that help put on this event.
Wow.
That's amazing. Gordo, chime in there. Are you going this year?
Oh, no, it's a goodie. In fact, you could spend the entire day just on the outside swap meet, and then another entire day on the two big buildings inside swap meets. Really good stuff.
Yeah, so you're not attending this year?
No, unfortunately, the league has me going in different directions, but I'll be there next year. And again, here's that trophy that they came up with that is going to the Ham ambassador. Wow, they better be strong, Dave and Heather, to bring it home. It's a goodie.
It's beautiful, too. It's really gorgeous and unique. Anything else, Mike, you want to tell us about what people need to know before booking and coming to HamCation?
The biggest thing is February in Orlando, Florida. The weather can't be any better. Right now, we call it a cold front. It's in the 50s outside. But that's why I said we call that a cold front. But usually during HamCation, weather is usually in the 70s. Beautiful weather, sunshine. So please make a trip down to Orlando. Enjoy the area. Lots of stuff to do. Bring your family. You have Disney. You have all your attractions there, SeaWorld, everything. You have beaches on both sides of Orlando, basically within 45 minutes to an hour drive. So lots of stuff to do in Orlando. So please come down, see us, enjoy the HamFest, meet up with friends, and biggest thing, have fun.
Oh, it sounds like a great time. One of these years, Jeff and I will make it for sure. Other Mike, anything else you want to add?
Again, thank you for having us on this evening. Josh, Amanda, Don, and Gordon, really appreciate it. So we can get out there and promote HamCation. Look forward to seeing folks down there. And from an awards perspective, again, congratulations to David, and Heather. And for everyone else, start thinking about who you want to nominate for next year. In the spring, the website will be opening up and we'll be accepting nominations again. So there's a lot of great people out there within the amateur radio community, and let's recognize those folks.
That's fantastic. It's really cool that you guys do that, by the way. The more people we can get recognized in the hobby, for sure. Okay, well, thank you, gentlemen, for being here tonight. We appreciate you.
73.
Josh,
thanks,
Amanda, Gordo, everybody here. So, and we'll see you in HamCation in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
In Orlando.
I'm excited. I'm already got.
All right,
room.
and chat room shout out if you're going. Of course.
Yeah, indeed.
I'd like to thank the Orlando HamCation folks for enabling my my lanyard fetish. Even though I've never been yet, it's a bucket list thing for me. But I have a lanyard from 2019, so yeah, they're enabling my lanyard fetish. So thank you guys, I appreciate that.
Always, I'm very excited.
That's
but
funny.
Amanda, I hear possibly you have new Ham It, Can It, or What Am It?
I do.
Oh my goodness.
What?
This is a packed show, kids. Packed show.
I'm gonna chew everybody out for just a second on my social media feed. I don't know what's going on, but I'm seeing a lot of SSTV, like just tons of people posting their SSTV grabs that they're getting. It's cool. There's a lot of naked ladies for whatever reason. Please stop sending them.
Now,
if you are sending those, stop putting them on like Twitter, please.
Have you heard of the shortwave radiogram? There's a shortwave station that does a radio broadcast, and then they end it, or it's interspliced with SSTV. Okay. And so they'll do like really cool images, and then they ask you to like repost them so they can see what you heard of their broadcast.
I got it.
It's pretty cool.
Somebody is filling my feeds.
I think that's different than what you're getting.
Yeah, there's always been naked ladies on slow scan. I don't know why. But yeah, they're there.
It's a bunch of dudes on the radio or something. I don't know.
And you would think it would be a really cool like youth activity to copy SSTV on HF. So just think about that before you send those weird QSL cards that you're okay. So I'm not going to share any of them with you, but it was on my feed a lot. Okay, let me share my screen now.
Okay.
Amanda coming out against the naked lady QSLs.
I don't even care. Like I've gotten some very provocative QSL cards before.
Quite creative,
especially from like XE land. I don't know why.
Oh, no.
In Brazilian land, they love their ladies. Fine, love it. They got a lot of work done to them. Anyhow, I just didn't want the youth to see it all. I don't care about me. Okay. My first screenshot here is what AI is depicting what amateur radio is doing for the LA fires. I thought it was actually pretty cool. Please, if you're doing emergency communications, do not sit that close to a fire. Okay.
Oh, right.
Not a good idea. Yeah.
You will not be stationed there.
A little close.
But anyhow, I like to show off what AI can do for amateur radio now. I used to hate it, and I'm a believer now. Okay. Switch. Oh, this was so sad. I saw this dude put way too much power obviously to this there's no explanation, but I myself have done this
slightly bulging
about 500 watts, and I heard just pop on my roof, and it was our dipole used to go over our old house. It was a rental, and when we put too much power on it, it just blew up. So I'm glad this one just contained itself, but sucks to be you, buddy. Got to get a new. It says 200 watts, so I don't know what he's throwing to it. But anyhow, okay, what was this one? Remember when I randomly ran into bunkers on the air? Here's another guy doing bunkers on the air.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
Neat, yeah.
M1DDD or G6RBY. I'm not sure which call sign he's going by, but this was his bunker. It's got to be like an Airbnb. So I'm just going to scroll in. It's really cool. Like they put windows at the bunker and stuff like that, and transmitter bunker, and he was there operating. So yeah, it's an Airbnb kind of place, but it was a cool find for him to go stay there and operate from for sure. Obviously in UK somewhere. This one was, this OH3 UBT working from home today and listening to local net on the background. And Chris and Don were talking about their old rigs earlier, so this is just right up their alley, is to remember to use your old equipment to help keep it alive. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Icom, an IC735. I don't even think I've seen one of these. I've never even touched one. So
that's neat.
Oh no, they were good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. That's 735.
Awesome. I'm familiar with 706 and 756, but I've never heard of this one. So, okay, this is my what am it. I don't know what the hell this is.
That is also a Meshtastic node.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the sense cap from Seed. Yeah, I have one actually. I keep it in a little baggie or a chest bag that I carry.
So that's just like the little transmitter receiver.
That's the whole deal. Yeah.
What is it powered with? Like
internal battery. Yeah, it's got an internal
Just like
battery.
a small little disc battery?
It's no, I think it's a 3 amp. 3 amp hour might be pushing it. It's like a 1.5 maybe. But I like it said paid partnership. That's funny.
I know. Sorry about that.
It's about the stack. It's okay. It's the stack of like it's the dimensions of a credit card, but about 3 of them stacked on top of each other. It's very small,
wow.
and they work good. They work well.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, this just got me excited to see this in my feed, because if you're walking into some kind of some forum or something and you see this on the table, you know that you're going to get a lot out of it. Like, this is just cool. You just walk up to the table and like, I'm going to learn something today. Thank you very much for joining our club, kind of deal. So I don't even know what they're talking about, but it was very...
It's a lot of stuff.
I don't know what the person was going to teach you that day, but you were going to learn something today.
Yeah, I see a little portable hotspot and a bunch of different
And I
antennas.
see like Mark Gateway and something.
Yeah.
By the way,
he's feeding my Panasonic Tough Book fetish right there too.
Yeah,
we have like
I have one of those, as a matter of fact. I have one of those.
We have one in our camper just for our portable operations, and they're gems. Whenever you guys find those at HamFest or wherever, pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
You can get them for about $100, I think.
Yeah, and a very expensive Motorola. Somebody pointed out. Looks like a couple of them potentially.
And mad props on all the nice cases. I don't even know where they come from. They could have came from Harbor Freight, but nice.
That's probably true.
That's a good place to get them.
$5,000 radio,
this guy
$50.
obviously doesn't know much. This guy doesn't know much about ham radio. He's on Blue Sky, and you know I just got onto Blue Sky. Everybody follow me on there. Normally I post Internet Observatorium once a day, but he found out about hamradioprices.com. I went to this site. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it kind of shows you, like, I should pull it up, but you basically get like current going rates for current popular ham radios. It's kind of a ho-hum.
Josh did a video
website.
on that, actually. I watched it last night.
I posted it yesterday.
Yeah, I watched it last night.
I can't keep up with everything. For goodness sake.
Really fast, Amanda. The reason why you want to go to this site, and I'm just going to use the 7300 for an example, is it gives you the historic pricing. So the guy who created this, he's scraping the internet daily for the prices of all these radios all the time. So you know when you go to that website, you're going to get an idea of what they've been selling at, which is really, really handy if you're in the market for a radio. So
that is a true statement.
Yeah, he's continually adding more retailers. MTC is on here. A lot of people ask about MTC. There they are. But yeah, you can get a snapshot of what how they've been selling, and that's incredibly valuable, because if a website tells you, oh, it's on sale, but then you go to the 2 years possibly of historic data, it might not be the cheapest price it's ever been. So maybe you should wait. Or maybe it's the best deal of all time and you got to buy it right now.
Or maybe that Black Friday deal isn't such a
that's
a good Black Friday deal.
Camel, kids. That's where you find that out about Amazon. They'll tell you.
All right. And this was, dude, I have no idea what this is, but working on a new home for the Franklin oscillator. Well, it's cute. It
is cute.
A
little
button,
proto board
but
and Altoids case.
Yeah, let me zoom in. And it looks clean as can be. Some solid soldering on his or her part. I don't know who this was, but it just looked nice. So I don't know what they're doing with it, but oscillating
the only thing
something.
that they're missing is a $5 bill.
Why only $5?
Franklin.
Oh, okay. It could have been 100.
Yeah, but Franklin's on the 5. Franklin's on the 5.
No,
so,
that's Hamilton.
Now
is it Hamilton?
Franklin.
See, I don't have any money. I'm a married man and I'm a ham radio operator, so I have no money. I don't know who the hell's on these things.
We have
no, I'm wrong.
Washington's
Jesus,
on
it's
a
Lincoln.
Quarter.
Oh boy, it's Lincoln.
Washington's on a quarter.
Don't. You come here for the ham radio, not the history.
Did I tell you guys that this is a parody
facts.
education show? Parody. Satire at best and learning amateur radio. Okay. Oh, this was really, I ran into this right before the show started. So this is somewhere around the Palisades fire. The American Legion Post, some hams are putting up a temporary repeater there to help fill in because they kept losing cell phone service. I really want to dig into this deeper because it said something about lost in the Methodist Church fire. So I wanted to figure out more, but I thought I would post it tonight since it's
very cool. Kudos
very
to
active.
them.
So way to go, hams. So, people are doing some stuff just to make sure they have some backup comms just in case. I mean, and if the fires weren't bad enough, it's the freaking wind. So you can lose a lot of comms just from wind issues alone, more or less having a fire roll over you. So
it was insane how powerful they were.
And that's the end of my hammock cannet or what I'm at for tonight. So
I like it.
Playing.
As always, a wonderful collection of images you found. Good job, Amanda. Thank you.
Oh, I love it. People post some weird stuff out there. But keep posting, everybody. Be active on social media accounts so I can grab them and show them off here. And I can question you or make fun of you or give you mad props. So.
Leave them making fun to me. I can take care of that.
Okay. No more of the tatas on SSTV. Okay?
No, yeah.
Right.
Go ahead. Stop that.
Speak for yourself.
That's it. That's their show. Let me go over the nets. They're actively doing 14 Charlie, a D-Star, and 7192 on 40 meters. So thank you, our net controls, for doing that. And thanks for all of our wonderful guests tonight.
Yes.
Chris, we're going to have Chris back on. Is Chris still with us?
Yeah, she's still here.
She's still here. There you are. Okay, yeah. Because, Chris, we have so much more. You talked about Army Mars and stuff now, so we have so much more content with you. They're going to be in my planner book.
All right.
So thank you, everybody. Go have fun this week and get ready for Winter Field Day and stay safe and stay warm because it's going to get freaking cold out there. So
yes.
All right. Well,
everybody, we may have a wintry mix down here in South Mississippi, 50 miles from the Gulf. It's crazy.
Sounds ominous. I don't even know what that means. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out. We really appreciate you watching. Until we touch you again. 70.
Oh, real quick. Hammond, Louisiana HamFest. If you're going to be around Southeast Louisiana, Hammond HamFest in Ponchatoula, Louisiana this weekend. It's SELARC, the Sealark HamFest.
Nice.
On Saturday, my son and I are going to be there in 7TMW. Tuesday will be his, Saturday, Sunday, Monday will be his 25th birthday. So I get to celebrate the HamFest and my son's birthday together. So that's always a fun thing.
Oh,
so
fun time.
If you're going to be at the Sealark HamFest in Ponchatoula, Louisiana, we will see you there.
And we have the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio HamFest this weekend as well.
Oh, good.
Up there in
Excellent.
Longmont, Colorado. I will not be going, but it's always a great time. And they even have some active forums and people zoom in to a talk that can't make it. So
very cool.
All right. Everybody, thanks again for watching until we touch you. 2 weeks. 73. See ya.
Good night.
Good night. And 2 weeks I'll have the DX Marathon people on. So
excellent. So stay tuned for that, everybody. DX
January
Marathon.
29th.
Excellent.